Hey, what's going on? It's Cards TCG. I'm traveling for work this week, so I haven't really had time to make videos, but I did see the update from TCG Player for the biggest Pokemon movers shakers of the week, 6/3/25, which was yesterday. I'll put this video out today. It's 3:06 currently Pacific Standard Time. Probably have it out in about an hour. But we have some changes here and some Surging Sparks to look at overall as well too, because that set seems to be doing a nosedive. And we do have Japanese black and white coming out this week, I believe. I believe it's this week as well. I see it popping up on TikTok where people are doing some pre-release stuff. Not really that. I mean, I love the cards. I love Reshiram. I love Zekrom. I love the sneak peek you kind of got right now with what those chases are of the two Pokemon. It's pretty decent. But I'm gonna kind of let it cool off a little. You hear da-da-ding? My work phone going off. There's stuff going down. All right, let's take a look at the shakers this week. A lot of people might not realize you got a ton of value in some cards on this list that are not necessarily what is the craze right now. You also have to take into consideration playability of a card as well. So, sticker box, an A spec here. You can use this card only if you discard 3 other cards from your hand, search your deck for an item card, a Pokemon tool card, a supporter card, and a stadium card. Reveal them and put them in your hand. Very playable. That's why you're seeing a little spike here at $16 for this. You may have this and you don't know it's worth 16 bucks. Well, now you will if you watch this video. Quite literally, a week or two ago, $7.96. It's over double. And then in 3/9, the beginning of March, $3.31. Pretty wild here. The change in that card. Is it the playability? Because it's at a Gardevoir EX is being worth much at all. This is very playable. That Gardevoir up here with the Ralts, Corellia, and Gardevoir line seem to be making a little bit of movement, but not too much. Next thing, we're going down Rebel Clash Tool Scraper. We're looking at an item card. So we went from an A spec that's jumped to now an item card that's gone kind of crazy out of Rebel trash. Like the worst set. I hate that set. But a very cool card. Choose up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to a Pokemon, yours or your opponent's, and discard them. Look at that. 2 weeks ago, $3.51. We're up to almost $11. You might have this. It's been a pretty much unmoving card over the past 2 months. So, closer to 3 months. It's getting close to that. And then suddenly just kind of moved up. Very, very, very cool gold card. I think, being a Pokemon tool, I think it's very cool with the wrench there and all the little shiny blasts behind it. I think it's a cool card to add to your collection. If you were mastering Rebel Clash and you didn't start with the cheap cards, I'm sorry, it's going up in value. If we continue to go down, it's kind of interesting. Destined Rivals is doing some interesting stuff too. Cynthia's Garchomp being under $200, kind of wild to me. And Ethan's Ho-Ho being around that 150 mark, also kind of wild to me. I think Giovanni and Mewtwo, absolutely going to be the chase. It's going crazy. It's going up, which is interesting because a lot of the chase cards from the recent sets start really high and then they kind of go down. We're going to talk about that with Surging Sparks as well in this video. But although I love that card, that is one of my chase cards as well as Misty and her Psyduck. I think these two don't deserve to be so little compared to that. I mean, only an SIR to begin with is not going to be easy. And these two, including Rocket's Mewtwo, have just plain art. Cynthia and her Garchomp is absolutely. And then you have the cute factor with Ethan's Ho-Ho. But if we go down, Rocket's Mewtwo right here, right? We get the major 450. It goes down to 327, and then it's on the rise again. which is a little interesting because it tends to fall a little longer before it starts to go up. But my God, that card is so freaking cool. So cool. And I have a booster box I have yet to open yet. I don't know if I want to do it as one long form video or I want to cut it into 36 parts of opening up a booster box. Or I might do a long video and then chop it up into shorts. I don't know. But I hope to get either these two, obviously SIRs, not because they're worth hundreds of dollars, but because they're cool. But really, my big chase is going to be Misty and Psyduck. I think that card is just absolute nuts. Some evolutions on here. That stuff's been kind of holding, doing some weird stuff week over week. Umbreon is doing exactly what I think it should be doing. Starting off at almost $1,600, and now we're down $400 over the course of a few months. Makes sense. I mean, this card shouldn't be... I know it's Umbreon. I know it's really cool. I know SIRs are hard to pull out of Prismatic. But this has nothing on Evolving Skies Moonbreon. It's kind of a pain glass. I'm on Psychedelic Mushrooms trip. Very cool. I like the terrestrialized, ring around the head and stuff. But to me personally, if you go up here, I think the Flareon is cooler. I have the Vaporeon, and that is actually my favorite of the evolutions. And then maybe a close second is going to be Espeon. The Umbreon is cool, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it deserves a price point over $1,000. I really don't. I don't think it's that cool. We're going to get into some older stuff. We got Team Magma versus Team Aqua Ultra Rare Suicune EX. Absolutely amazing for a classic type card. The e-reader series has definitely been my favorite since getting back into the hobby last year. They are absolutely just so clean with the holo pattern and the way the cards just look. The artworks are simple yet complicated. It's cool. Suicune is one of my favorite Pokemon, and to see this card kind of go in this mid 200s drop. Look at that, $100. Could have got this for $100 at the end of March. Very, very good price, because in a PSA 10, if you can find a clean copy, you can be fetching some cash dollar bills. And then recently, it's starting to see a spike again. You can kind of see when cards are doing their spikes as it relates to sets as they come out, buyouts, or just a community kind of pushing cards that are low value, pump and dump kind of stuff. I don't think that this is the case because it's not one of like the cheap cards, but it's a very good card. It's actually really hard to get clean, and typically you pay a premium for a very clean copy, which doesn't make any sense to me if it's near mint. Mint should go off of TCG prices. Now, I know mint is mint, but near mint 7 to 9 in the PSA grading system. That's near mint. And people get that confused. Like, they think near mint means 10. No, near mint means 7 to 9. It's not going to be perfect. It has something wrong with it that's going to prevent it from being a 10. They should, and it's hard. They can't really do that. They can't really put a mint price point because we're not all professional graders. I have a magnifying glass, toolkits, and things like that to really inspect my cards before I send them to PSA, but I'm still not a professional grader. I'll put that in quotes because PSA kind of does some stuff sometimes, pop control, things like that. But overall, like, who am I to say I actually have a mint copy? People will think they have a mint copy, and it might be, but there might be an undetectable blemish on the card that you don't even really notice at first, or some type of very, very thin print line that you're not seeing. And so for you to consider a card a premium priced for the mint version of it, it's a little insane, and I don't buy those because there's no guarantee that that's going to be mint. So why would I pay more than near mint? I'll go through page after page of eBay or TCG Player looking at pictures, especially with cards like this Suicune, where I would intend to grade it to be part of my graded, and if my objective is to get a 10 and there's no pictures on TCG Player, I don't use Player. I'll go onto eBay, roll the dice there, and look at lots of pictures, and find one that is a mint 10 contender, if you will, and then look for that in the most cheapest price I can find it at. So anyways, I mean, people, if you're going Whatnot, which I don't really use anymore, I should take it off my banner because it's just a cesspool of disgusting people. And people are on there, this is mint, this is a 10 contender, and then people overbid, and then those people on there, not me, because when I was on Whatnot, I'd lose my ass, but those people are laughing on their way to the bank at your expense. Now, what you do with your money is what you do with your money, but I'm telling you, they don't give a F about you, and all they're doing is sucking you dry on FOMO. All right, Scyther EX from Ruby Sapphire. I've been looking at a lot of these older sets. I recently just picked up a Typhlosion off of eBay that is from not an old set. It was from a Sun and Moon. And interestingly enough, the card's like less than $10, and in a PSA 10, it's like $300. I scoured eBay last night looking for something that might get me there. But again, my investment is low risk. I'm not looking to try to spend, $1,200 on this in the hopes of a 10. So it can be somewhere around the $3,000 range, which ironically is bizarre to me because the amount of Pop 10 population in the Umbreon GX is so high that I have no idea how this card is 3x. Generally, if there is a abundant, and you see this a lot with Japanese, an abundance of 10s, because Japanese are getting 10s, the 10 price is not that far off of what the raw price is. So I have a Team Rocket Gang Charizard, and you get it for like $60-$70. I got it in an 8, and I paid below raw price because an 8. I did some hard care to it. I put it to PSA, ended up with a 9. I think I might crack it and resend it because I just want to see if I can grab that 10. But the 10 version of that, I'm looking at the PSA population of that, and there's like 5,500, and that's why it's only like a $800 card in a PSA 10. Even though it's vintage Team Rocket, there's so many of them that it deflates that price, and that should be happening with the Umbreon. But people FOMO and it's Umbreon, but it's like there is twice as much 10s as there is any other grade. So how does that work out? Makes no sense. But Scyther here for Ruby Sapphire, another e-reader series type of card. Very cool, Cosmo Hollow looking esque. This particular one has that sweet swirl right over the Scyther wing, but it's been doing some weird things around the $58-$60 range, and then it kind of crested over that 60 recently. So it's a very cool card. If you can get this in a clean copy around that, this is another card that has some value. $400 or $500 in a PSA 10 if you can find it. Think about $60 investment, $20 to grade. $59 I think is the charge up. You end up around $150 for the 10. So if you're looking into it as a flipping strategy, about $350, $400 profit on that if you can find a clean copy. The problem with the e-reader type cards is there's so much hollow on it and it's so susceptible to scratching. You have to spend some time taking care of that card, and if you don't have a 30x magnifying glass or unit to go over and over and over it again, you're not going to expect a 10 because they're going to see that. They're going to see those scratches. That's what we got here for the shakers and movers for this week. Pretty interesting. Some of the cards being A-Specs, trainers, and then a brand new card, as well as the Umbreons, and then a couple of vintage cards, which is pretty cool there. The Suicune and Scyther are actually really cool. But I want to look at Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks is doing some weird stuff because this set, in my opinion, set off the craze, if you will, of Pokemon right now. I had no problems going into Pokemon Center, ordering a Pokemon Center ETB. I was midday of release, gone in, went in there, ordered some. And then I went back the next day, though, to get another ETB. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get another ETB of the that so I can get 2 of the Magnetons. And so I can grade 1 and put 1 in my binder. And they were all sold out, and that's kicked off the craze that we're currently doing. But interestingly enough, what started the craze, in my opinion, is completely collapsing on a downward trend. I mean, build and battle for $35, not a bad deal. Got some really cool promo stamps in there that are actually very playable. Some of the cards are like kind of staying where they're at, but this Pikachu, and we'll look at that next, this Pikachu is just, oh my goodness. So I pulled this on launch, and that's a video way back. I ended up having 1 Pokemon Center ETB, and then 8 regular ETBs that I opened, and I got most of the SIRs except for the Latias out of just that. And the first ETB I opened had this Pikachu EX in it, and I ended up getting this again and in Japanese. So it wasn't that hard to pull, and I sold 2 of them right away because they were in that $400 range. But look at now, man, 288, 304 right there. But if you go down here, 259, oh, that's Japanese. 260 in the light play, near mint in the 280 range. Not too bad, considering that this card was like, boom, everybody wanted it. I think it's a cool card. I love the terrestrialized Pikachu. It's a very cute card, very minimal in what's going on, so it's not really the background taking away from it. Very cool card. But it continues to drop 37% right here. Look at that. Just the set that started the craze, not holding on. Now we'll look at Latias over here, 194. I'm not really opening up Surging Sparks, even when it's available at the store. I really don't get it. I like I said, I pulled a lot of the SIRs, so I don't really think that opening up packs, because the packs themselves, if you look over here, are still pretty reasonable. It's a case, 144 of them for, I mean, $8, something like that, $8. Latias, again, 245 on Scream Day. This should have been closer to the Pikachu too, because it's just the artwork's so amazing. But again, just a down, and it's continuing to drop. A 30% decrease in the market since the release of this. Like, come on. What is going on? Well, it's not holding any value because the scalpers keep moving so quickly to the next set that these sets die off and they become more available, but the market value continues to stay up because although it is, I guess, scalpers are like moving from set to set, it's still a printing issue. It's a quantity issue in the market that makes it still, even if it's easier to get now, it's not as easy as it was when I got back into collecting last summer. When I go into my Walmart, grab something, go home, open the packs, back, I didn't get anything. You know what? I could probably go get 10 more packs. Go down to Walmart, 10 more packs still there, and still an entire thing. That really isn't the thing. So Latias, I'll probably end up buying this card if it continues to drop. It's at what, 165? That's the one thing that kind of irritates me is like these people are posting Japanese as they buy that changes the price too. So this isn't entirely accurate because those Japanese cards are selling at a lower price, which is definitely affecting the English version of it. Now, why people don't just list this in the Japanese section, I don't think Actually, I don't even know if you can. I've only been using TCG Player for like 60 days, and I don't really sell Japanese on here. Can you log in and post it in the, if you go up here and go to Pokemon and go to Japanese, can you even do that? I don't know. The Latias is on a downward trend. 94 for the melodic, highly underrated SIR. This thing is absolutely amazing, especially because it goes with Phoebus. Latias goes with Latios. Feebas goes with this, but it's doing its thing too. Boom, 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 boom. But if we look here, we got Japanese here also impacting the price of this card because people are buying the Japanese version in English TCG Player, so it's impacting that market price as well. If you look at it, you can get a near mint here for 95 bucks. You can get something for under 100 bucks. Or if you want the Japanese one, not this guy that's 98%, because obviously shipping stuff like garbage. Nice looking card. Without inspecting it any further, I think it would be a contender, even if the back is slightly off. Luckily, the back is not a big deal. High Dragon here. Arguably one of my favorite artworks in the set, has been one of my favorite artworks, as well as the Sewerage from this set has been two of my favorite arts of the last 4 or 5 sets that have come out. 47, 48 for light play, but again, and then a drop, and then now it's flattening around that $62 range, and you can get it near mint for 50 bucks. Like, you know, the people that FOMO in the beginning of stuff and pay those prices, insane. If I get duplicates, I'm selling them. I'm basically preying, I guess, on that FOMO, but I'm not clearing out shelves. Like, if you got FOMO and you want to buy it for 500 bucks, if I pull the Rockets Mew too, that's fine, because all I'm doing with that money is buying more cards, getting a few mid-era vintage, maybe buying some new stuff, but not clearing shelves out. I don't do that stuff. A couple ETBs, stuff to make videos about. Hello, and Executor. This is one of the cards I pulled from that first ETB with the Pikachu. And when I pulled this, it was around that. I sold it around this area right here. And then boom. We're down in that $36 range. 35 right here. Free shipping. They are 100%. So I, pick that up, put a clean copy in your binder and things like that. It's a very cool card. Very affordable from a SIR standpoint, from the late Scarlet and Violet sets that seem to be bloating for some reason. Well, actually, I know people see it as an opportunity to make money, and they're going to do that because people won't stop buying from them. And then when things taper off, they're not going to stay with this market. They're going to move into another market. Magic's kind of going crazy right now with their Final Fantasy stuff, right? So you take a look at Final Fantasy, that's kind of like, I feel like they're migrating over there a little bit. And, they'll be back. They'll be back. Black and White's going to be probably the last big set of Scarlet and Violet before we get our new era. And, that's fine. That's cool. Maybe we'll see some changes. Destined Rivals absolutely isn't as wild as Prismatic still is. It's so hard to get a hold of that stuff. And the pull rates are just, whoa. For somebody that's pulled 3 booster boxes worth of stuff and to only get 1 SIR that was an Ogre Pawn mask is insane. Not get 1 evolution out of, what are we at, 150 packs now or something? I think it's 4 booster boxes worth. It's crazy. So I get the FOMO there. Or not just FOMO, but somewhat makes sense for the SIRs, even though the Umbreon is has a ton of 10s. Makes no sense. Jasmine Gaze here. I pulled this card before. I don't really love it. I think it's fine. But at $42, fine. But again, it's on its little taper down. 30 bucks. $23.99 right here. 0 sales. Might take a shot at it. Definitely wouldn't go with 97. At least Lavendic has a chance to be good. Poke Trauma is giving you trauma if it's 97. They're not doing good with 149 sales. I still have 100% because I take pictures of high value cards like this. Anything over 20 bucks, 15 bucks or so, I take pictures of. if I list that near mint, you can see that. And I ship them well. So that's probably going to do it for us today. Surging Sparks kind of dying on the vine for us, which may be good, because if you haven't been able to get some of these cards, you're a master setter, or you just haven't been able to get some, so you would like a chance at any of this, it's becoming more available. I don't know what the print expectation for this set is, because I feel like we're moving quickly to end Scarlet Violet to move into this next series. I mean, we have the next ZA game coming out. Absolutely can't wait to play that. Can't get a Switch 2 yet, but I can't wait to play it. So I'm not going to worry about that until I can actually play the game. And then after that, I saw that there was a little sneak release about the game that's going to really kick off the next generation. So very excited for all that. I'm Articar's TCG. I am tired from working this week, and I will probably make another video for Friday. We'll see how this week goes. If I can get away with heading home tomorrow, I will. And then I have some things to crack open and things to do for video, so we'll do that. I'm Articar's TCG. Like, subscribe. It's free. Helps the channel out. Really like doing this content. I'm doing it for free. So, yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.